So, I'm sure you've asked yourself these questions before. Am I doing the right thing? Is the next course of action the right course of action for me to take? As an entrepreneur over the last 20 years, I have asked myself those questions over and over. And my goal in today's video is to help bring some decision to your business. Hello, my name is Domingo Silvas, and I'm excited to be with you at this moment because my goal is to bring you, information, guidance, mentorship, and especially with over the 20 years of experience I've had building companies. I'm the founder of Scale It Up and founder of Stimulus Summit. Summit where we bring on some of the most amazing global leaders to the stage. That's free, and it's something that we can provide you a lot of guidance and sometimes provide you the answer that you're seeking. Now, back to the question. Is what you're doing right now the right thing to do? The interesting thing is that there's going to be multiple decisions you need to make like that, right? You're going to decide, is this the logical thing to do or is this the illogical thing to do? What's the right and the wrong thing? Sometimes we follow a road and then it ends up forking. And then one decision ends up to another decision, to another decision, to another decision. It seems frustrating, right? I get it. I mean, as an entrepreneur, like I said, I faced this. I've started over 12 companies and not every company was successful, but I was able to take 6 of them to over 7 figures. Now, how did I do that? Well, I learned based on the decisions I made on what to do right and wrong. Now that I have success right out of the gate with my first company, I sort of had success, right? It was one of those things I just happened to make or follow through and keep going, even with the bad decisions, to make the company happen. But it wasn't the case every single time after that. Sometimes I try to duplicate the same result by doing the same decision I made before. It seemed logical that I should do that, but I didn't get the same result. So sometimes situations require you to think the illogical way. Now, what does that mean, right? When we talk about logic and illogical, what does that mean? Does that mean that one is thinking inside the box and the other is thinking outside the box? Is there one that just seems more logical more than the other? Is it you have to be more conventional or unconventional in your thinking? Sometimes creativity is a beautiful thing because it can really help you make decisions as you go in your business. But sometimes it can drive you crazy because you'll know that it's the craziest thing to do right now to make this decision, to be able to go out there and take that very next step. And the decision is something that's completely outside the box. You're just thinking to yourself, you're not sure if that's going to work. There's no guarantees no matter what decision you make, right? I can make a logical decision, an illogical decision. I can make an inside the box decision, outside the box decision. I can just go with my gut feeling, not go with my gut feeling, listen to my friends. I mean, it's just frustrating over and over and over. You're just trying to decide what's the best thing to do. My goal today is to help you understand that, you know what, there's no perfect answer because you don't know the outcome, right? But what is important is that the fact that you take the decision that you make and you learn from it, because that's the part that really matters, right? When we make a decision and we learn that we made a good decision or a bad decision, we know the result and see the result, we grow that way. It's one of the things that helps us become a leader. It's one of the things that help us not only challenge ourselves, but challenge other people around us because they're watching you and learning as well. But sometimes making the same decision every single time can be the safe bet. And maybe that's the safe way to go. Maybe it is just stick to your lane. Don't divert from that and stay in focus. It can be that simple. But at the same time, if you're an entrepreneur like me, squirrel, you find different things that attract you. And those are things that are going to come up all the time. And that I leave for another video. But right now, let's talk about thinking inside the box and outside the box. So a logical decision means that, the outcome can be somewhat predicted if A plus, or let's put it in mathematical terms, if 1 plus 2 equals 3, then that should be the safe way to go. And many of us make decisions that way. I'm an outside the box thinker. I go a lot with trying to figure out if 1 plus 2 equals 3, how do we get to 10? What does it take for us to get there a little bit faster or a little bit safer? Because sometimes a logical way doesn't make sense, right? Sometimes it's the safe bet, and then you know you're going to do it, but you're not comfortable doing it. There's a lot of things that come to this decision making that can be a bit frustrating. It's like you walking down a yellow brick road, right? You follow the yellow brick road, and you're at the end of the day, you're going to see the wizard. Okay, makes sense. That's what you're told. You follow the blueprint, and you're going to go along the way, and you're gonna meet the wizard at the very end, right? But then you look at your companions. You got a guy made out of tin. You got a guy made out of hay, and another one who is a lion who has no heart or no courage. So you ask yourself, does that make sense to go along a path that's laid out for you that you know it's going to end up in the obviously this is a reference to Wizard of Oz. You're going to see the wizard at the end with the company of people that you're not sure about, right? So you're kind of thrown in that. There's things you can do to make yourself feel more comfortable about that, and that's obviously replace the ones that are accompanying you, make it more logical to find people who can definitely get you there to make it a little bit more certain. But the interesting thing is, just imagine the things you can learn by going along with the ones that, it just seems illogical. Kind of thinks outside the box, but you never know what's going to happen. And you end up having the most amazing journey and finding out the answers that you're looking for. So basically what I'm sharing with you is there's no right or wrong answer. The truth is we're going to learn as we go. We're going to figure out sometimes a logical way to make a decision is the way to do it. Sometimes the logic it is as well. The key here is learning from it. The key is going deeper and understanding more about what you're doing and what the result was, and not just taking it as, you know what, it worked great and walking away from it. I think most leaders, actually, I take that back. I know most leaders, most successful leaders that are out there are the ones that actually take a look at every situation, good or bad, logical or illogical, and learn from it. Sit back for a moment and celebrate. But after celebration, what did we do right, guys? So let's talk this over. Let's debrief a little bit about what went right. Because I'll tell you one thing. I hear all the time that when we do something wrong, we sit down, we debrief, so we make sure we never make that mistake again. And that happens a lot. A lot of people, a lot of teams, a lot of entrepreneurs will focus on what went wrong. But the truth is, it's just as important to focus on what went right. And sometimes what steps were taken. So because I think at the end of the day, the experience that you get from making a logical decision or illogical decision, following a yellow brick road to a wizard with 3 of the strangest people that you could ever meet, and making it work is the right decisions, the right thing to do. I was never given a blueprint that told me that if I followed these steps, that it's going to work for me. And sometimes, even if I was, to be honest with you, and as I shared with you before, I'm more of the outside the box kind of guy. I probably end up looking at the blueprint saying, it makes sense, but how can we make this better? How can I learn from this? How can I duplicate this? I would probably end up taking it apart and putting it back together, and having it form something different. And you know what? That's okay. We all go on a journey that's unique to ourselves. Nobody can duplicate the success that someone else's has. It takes a lot of passion. I mean, I hear all the time, especially in the network marketing industry, try to find something that's duplicatable. But what you can't duplicate is the experience that somebody has or the determination they have to follow that plan. There's a lot of factors that you can't control, but the factors you can, you should sit down and try to understand it. You should really go out there and determine what's the right thing for you to do. Now, being an entrepreneur has been one of the best decisions I ever made, and I'm sure each and every one of you, in one way or another, will agree with me. So next time you have to make a decision, you need to ask yourself, what can I learn from it? And after the decision made, what did I learn from it? Because those are the key things you have to keep in mind. Now, there are some times where you just know it's the wrong decision. You're going to follow it anyways because it's something that you made the decision. Own it, live it, learn from it, and everything will be just fine. Everything will work out the way it needs to work out. If you like this video and you like others, do me a favor, press the like button, comment down below, subscribe. I want to continue sharing my thoughts, my experience, and my knowledge with you, and to continue helping you thrive to your success, to help you achieve what you're looking for, because together we can make things happen. Thank you.